You're listening to the Indie Echo Podcast, a showcase of independent music and the artists that make it. I'm Jordan, producer at High Five Music. Today's singer-songwriter brings you the sounds of both modern and 90s classic R&B. Her EP, Self-Discovery, is available now. This is KaitlynDestinyy with 2 Ys.
You want your cake, you need it too. And damn, I can't even blame you. You want your cake, you need it too. And damn, I can't blame you.
I am KaitlynDestinyy. Well, my name is Caitlin Bradshaw, but I go by KaitlynDestinyy. I am 23 years old. I grew up in Pennsylvania. But my culture, my background is Trinidadian. I'm a Caribbean girl. But the music that I was raised on was like 90s R&B, like Michael Jackson to Whitney Houston, Darnell Jones. Who else? Destiny Childs. Hint, hint, KaitlynDestinyy.
There you go.
But so I grew up on a lot of R&B and hip hop and all that stuff. Like I like who else? Then you caught me right there. Lauryn Hill. That is
Okay.
Lauryn Hill, that whole album. I love her. I like Alicia Keys, early 2000s. I grew up on that too. But honestly, my favorite artist, like favorite artist to this day that I listen to their music every single day is Michael Jackson, Whitney, Lauryn Hill, because I still listen to Lauryn Hill today. Like what she spit, she just phenomenal. Everything she do. I want her to make more music. I really do. But what she did there in 1998, she need to do that again. Beyonce too. If I take away anything from Beyonce and Michael Jackson and Whitney, is that they're incredible performers. Like they're entertainers and their voice is crazy. It's amazing. Everything they do, I feel like they don't mess up. They make sure they're like on point with everything. And I feel like that's something that I truly admire.
You've done live performances?
I've done live performances like a year ago, 2 years ago, because of COVID hit. So I haven't really been in the live stuff, but I've done a couple, but I'm a little new to it, but I feel like I definitely want to do more and I definitely want to be like that.
Have a proper KaitlynDestinyy show.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to dance. I want to give like people performances like they will never forget. Like and I want every performance to be completely different. That's just how I want it to be. Like every song, I'm gonna sing it differently for each and every crowd. So you know that if you come into this show and you come to the next show, you might hear a different song or you might hear the same one, but it's gonna be sung differently. Or something is going to be different.
Now, did you grow up writing music or playing an instrument or anything?
So I grew up singing, and I grew up singing in church. I started, I'm all scrambled up and everything.
Yeah, good.
So I started singing when I was 6 years old, and I used to always sing in my house and everything. My parents used to be like, "Oh my gosh, she always sings." Yes, this is what I love to do, right? So I sang in church, I sang in school, I did like plays. I was in a choir, but I actually like to sit there and listen to it too. And then I'm like, I want to do something like that. And then, when I got older, I was just like, nah, like this is what I want to do. And then I've been writing since I was like 6 too. I would just honestly take my iPod Nano, them little things, I could click record. I would just record, my little raps and stuff like that. Not raps, but I would say raps because I write poetry too. When I was younger, I used to be really into poetry, and I feel like poetry is also a form of music too. You're just putting it on a beat. So like stuff like that, it was like, I've been doing that for a very long time, but I didn't know that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life until I went to college for like 3 years for something I didn't want to do. And then I was like, oh wait, I sing all my life. I've sang and I'm still singing. And this is like the only thing that really brings me true fulfillment and true joy. So after that, I was just like, yeah, this is what I gotta do. This is it. This is it.
So what was your first release then?
My first release was Picture Perfect. That was when I was under the name KDB Music, and that was in 2019. So that was my first release. I was kind of shy. I've been singing and I was writing for a very long time. Like I would post like little snippets or whatever, but I was never like serious about it until that time. And then after that, then like March of 2020, I was just like, no, like this KaitlynDestinyy is who I am, and then that's when Priority came out, and then my music video, and then I dropped the EP March 10th and stuff like that this year. But that's when I actually feel like I found myself in like the sound that I wanted and the riffs and who I actually am and what I want to bring to the table with my career and stuff like that, and who I am as an artist. Like I finally feel like I found that now.
Which brings us to Self-Discovery, your latest EP.
Yes, Self-Discovery.
So is that a collection of songs that were just written separately and you decided to put together in this collection, or did you go into it thinking, no, I have this body of work I want to present?
So last year, so all this happened last year. So last year, I didn't know I was going to drop the EP. I didn't know I was going to do this last year. So when I was writing all these songs, I wrote these songs the way they happened. Because like I feel like I take my life and I put them in my music, and I wrap it around in a way where I could switch somebody else's perspective or be who I wanted to be in that situation, like the comforting person, like to switch your perspective and wrap that all around into music, like tell you the story, but also give you a different perspective that's going to make you and myself feel better. So last year I had wrote all those songs, and not all of them, but most of them. So most of the songs I wrote at the same time, but like when I finally got the full story and the full way how I felt, I pulled it all together, if that makes sense. Like when I was writing one song, for like example, Priority, I was obviously in love. I was, I loved somebody, I cared for him, and I really wanted that same energy back, right? Until one day I was just like, oh wait, the only way I'm going to feel okay or feel better about this entire situation is if I make myself a priority. And I do what's best for me. Like you could love somebody so much, but if you don't love yourself, you ain't ever going to fill that void, and nobody's going to fill that void for you. So for me, I like meditating. I like self-affirmations. I like encouraging, empowering people. And I was like, you know what? How can I make this song in a way where, I found myself, but I also want people to find themselves too, and then listen to this song and be like, damn, like, no, I was feeling really bad about this situation, but no, I am a queen, I am a goddess, I am a trophy. And then it's like, when you wrap it all around, it's just like, I need to make me a priority and do what's best for me. It's just like, now I could bring somebody's perspective back into play in my own perspective. And then that's how I got over that situation.
And I need you to make me a priority. And I need to show you how much you mean to me. I need to know if you really care for me. And I need to know if you're really there for me.
Priority, that definitely has those late 90s, early 2000s R&B vibes, the Destiny's Child, the Aaliyah. It specifically reminds me of Aaliyah, Are You That Somebody? Some of the rhythms and things like that.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, I love Aaliyah too. I grew up on Aaliyah.
That makes sense. It all makes sense now.
Yep, I grew up on her too. I love the 90s R&B. I don't know if you could tell, but like everybody, like my whole outfits, like I feel like I dress like a 90s girl. I feel like my pictures are like 90s girls. Like I just like that vibe. I feel like if that was any era, that's the era I'm from. That's the era that I'm in. That's what I'm still in. My pictures show that, the quality of my pictures. Like I just love that whole era. Like it's just, like if I could stay there, I would stay there.
Options reminds me of like a more modern R&B, like Ariana Grande kind of vibe. So was that your...
Yeah, so Options, I'll tell you, you want me to tell you the whole spill about Options?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so okay, basically, so I made Options in December of 2020. So it was, but then I finished it January 2021. I finished that song around there, right? So around that time, everybody's studio was closed, okay? And nobody wanted to do nothing because of COVID. And I was just like, but I want to make music. Like, I'm tired of not being able to go to a studio and record, right? Because everybody's closed, everybody's now COVID, everything's shut down. So I bought myself my own mic. I downloaded Logic Pro, all that stuff, and I recorded Options on my own. And I have no engineer experience, okay? I have none whatsoever. But at that point in time, I didn't have no other choice. But I knew that I had all those songs in the tuck. Like I had Black, I had I Told You was already out. I had Pure Love. And I was just like, okay, I want to drop a body of work March 10th. I'm not going to drop 4 songs. I want to drop another thing. Like, I want to do this song. You know what I mean? So I was just like, I was sitting here day and night learning how to engineer and put this into play and stuff like that. And I was thinking, I was like, I'm not going to put this song on my EP. I'm not going to do it. And then I let my friends hear it and my family hear it. And they was like, oh no, that got to be on there. And it's also like I said, I like to inspire people. So I was like, you know what? This should be number 1, because I don't know if you heard, it was like, it's 2021. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, dang, like, I don't know how everybody's going to respond to this. They're going to probably be like, oh, it sounds different from the other songs. And I'm like, but I had to do it and I wanted to try it. So I did it.
I'm not just your second option. Cause baby, I just got options. Cause they ain't you, this ain't you, this ain't you, this ain't you,
In the past, maybe you'd be able to tell recording wise whether something was done in a bedroom or something, but nowadays, like, you can get studio quality in your bedroom. And especially during COVID, I think a lot of artists realize that. I mean, there's certainly a place for engineers in terms of making sure you're recording it correctly and getting the proper signals and whatnot, but in terms of learning it on your own and getting a great take, it's certainly more possible today than it's ever been. So did you do like YouTube tutorials and that kind of thing?
No. So what I did is I asked a lot of questions. So the guy that I usually go to, he's like, I usually go to like a home studio anyway. But the guy that I went to, I was just like, hey, like, how does this work? Do I do the tempo, the beat thingy? Like, how do I, do this? Like, I know I could sing and stuff like that. So he would give me some pointers and stuff like that. And then also, I just stayed up every single day and just kept recording, kept learning. Like, okay, this sounds good. Okay, this doesn't sound good. This might sound good, but yeah. And then I recorded Promise. Like, it's like the 30-second acapella too. I did that on my own too. Okay. And it just showed me, it was just like, I got really good responses from Options. Everybody's like, I really like Options. It's different. It doesn't sound the same. But a lot of engineers, they're like, who recorded Options for you? Because it sounds different from who recorded Priority and stuff like that. So when I see that, I'm like, dang, let me just spill the beans about Options. Like, I did it. And then once I recorded it and I had it the way I wanted to, and I was like, all right, it sounds good like this. I sent it to an engineer so he could, what's that word? Mix and master it. And then after that, I was just like, you know what? We're just gonna slide this EP right here. And here we are.
Pure Love, I wanted to ask about it has like the lo-fi hip hop vibes with the like the slightly off rhythm percussion elements. Was that a producer decision, or is that something you wanted going in?
So basically I got sent that beat, and then I also had so for me, I like writing to beats. Like I know like also, but then also I had that song written down. Like I had the hook written down. So when I hear different beats, I'm like, okay, this hook has to be sung like this if I want it to stick out more like that, if that makes sense to you. Mm-hmm. So like when I'm writing, I'm like, okay, this sounds good with that. That sounds good like this. But if I could fix this in a way where I can make this sound completely different than the average person, then I'm going to make it like that. So like Pure Love for me, like when I was writing that song, I was kind of writing it because I was like, damn, like I give this person so much good love, you know what I mean? And they don't give it back to me, but it's okay. It's okay. But how can I put this in a way where it's like a love song where people think that I'm about to sing a love song, but I switch it and it's not. So like the way I sing it, you would think, oh my gosh, she's really in love. You know what I mean? It's smooth. It's like a nice beat or whatever. But when I wrote that song, I was like, no, I like this beat. And I like different beats where it like kind of forces me to change my flow and the way I sound that challenge me. There we go. I like beats that challenges me, and I feel like that beat kind of challenged me because it was different.
This is pure love, the type you can hide from, the type you can hide from. Who do you love? Who do you love? And who do you kiss? Who do you kiss? And who do you love? Who do you love? And who do you miss? Who do you miss?
So when that guy sent me that beat, it wasn't my choice or anything like that. Like, you know what it sounded like? It was sort of like, hey, I think this beat would sound good with your voice. And I was like, let me write to it. And then I was like, let me record this because I really like how this sounds.
I like that idea that you have these like musical puzzle pieces and then someone sends you the rest of the puzzle and you're like, let me see if these fit. Sometimes it does and sometimes
exactly.
It doesn't. Yeah.
And that's how my EP came about. Cause it's like, people be like, did you know you was gonna drop an EP a year ago? And I'm like, no, like literally no. But it's crazy how all the pieces come together when you're ready to. Cause in my head around December and January, I was like, oh my God, I really wanna drop something. I don't know how this is gonna sound. I don't know what goes together. I don't know 1, 2, 3, or 4. How should I like number this and everything? And it's crazy how God just brings everything together and makes it all flow. Like it's priority that flows right into Pure Love. It flows, it goes dink and it goes do and then it goes like that. That's what it goes into.
That's cool.
And it was so crazy because when I was listening to it like myself, I'm like, oh wait, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, because I'm telling a story. You know what I mean? My story. So it's crazy how I didn't know I was gonna drop an EP. But when the time came, I was just like, no, this has to be EP and I have to call it self-discovery because this entire year I've been discovering who I am. And now I finally found that. I might have done my research about certain things, but also I write stuff down. Like things that I want, like things that I aspire to be. Like if I want to be in a not music, but if I wanted to be in like a movie, which I do, I'll write it down. I want to be in podcasts. I want to do a lot of things. I write that down. I'd be like, God, you said I have not because I asked not. I'm asking for it now. So I wanted a body of work. But it definitely, I had the songs, there and stuff like that. And then I was just like, no, like this is how it's supposed to be. And then I was just like, okay, because at first I really wanted to drop an album. And then I was like, nah, God said an EP, so we're gonna do an EP.
He said the memo.
No, I'm serious. Yeah. And it's just like, it's crazy how things flow together. It just goes. So I like singing for my soul, right? So I know this is probably weird, not weird for people, but I feel like when I write a song, if that song don't touch me or make me cry or make me feel like goosebumps, I don't want to put it out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even want to put my energy and effort into it. When I write songs, I like writing from my heart. So most of the time I'll sit myself down and I'll be like, okay, right now I'm feeling very inspired to write, which I feel inspired to write like every day. I sit myself down and I'd be like, okay, what are you feeling today? Or how do you feel about this person? Or how do you feel about that situation? And then I'm like, okay, now how can I put this into a song? So I'm like, okay, let me just freestyle. So I usually just take my phone and I record and I'm just freestyling like, you know, a bunch of stuff. And I'm just like, okay, now I have like thousands and thousands of freestyles on my phone. So when it's time for me to actually sit down and like listen to a beat, I'm like, okay, I can either write more about what I'm feeling right now, or I could take a piece of the puzzle and glue them together. Which like, you know how people say like they record a song and then like maybe like a couple months later they go back to the song and then they finish it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's like when I realize, okay, this is A, B, and C, right? So A, B, and C. A is where the situation starts when I start writing the song. B is when the middle of the situation. Yeah, you know, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm feeling the situation. I'm like, okay, what else does this situation bring to me? C is the solution and the way I wrap it around and the way I overcame it. And I like writing songs that way because it's like, now I feel like I'm giving something to the world where it's like, okay, this is what I went through. This is what I learned. And this is how I want to switch your perspective. And this is how I overcame it. Now I want to give it to you and see how you do with that information. So I go back and forth to LA because I'm looking for opportunities. The last time I went there, it was for my best friend's birthday. But now I want to go back to just look for opportunities where I could fit into the puzzle because I definitely want to be out there. But I live in PA, but my brother lives in Arizona. They're all over. And I want to just constantly keep moving around to see where I fit in the puzzle and where I can be who I am and get my music out there. Like the whole time I was in LA, I was sitting there walking up to people like, hey, do you like music? Okay, you want to listen to my music? Thank you. Here you go. Let me know how you feel about it. So like I was in like, where was I? I was like walking around in LA and then somebody, I think it was at the Beverly Hills sign and they were like, oh, can you take my picture? Or do you want me to take your picture for you? And then this one girl was like, do you want to be in my picture? And I was like, sure, I'll be in your picture. I don't know you, but I'll be in your picture. Absolutely. I feel like anything that is going to show my face or show anything or like give like good energy or show that I was a part of something, like I want to be in it. Sure. Absolutely. You never know who you're going to walk. Like you never know who you're going to talk to. You could talk to the next person who might get you a record deal or something. You know what I mean? You don't know who you're going into when you're walking in LA. You don't even know when you're going into when you're walking in Jersey or any place. So if I could make conversation, which most people don't want to do, I already got that person's attention.
Especially in LA where it's like, oh, my uncle, he works for Sony, whatever, you know, that kind of thing.
You see what I'm saying? So why wouldn't I want to be out there even more. I'm like, why wouldn't I take that opportunity? Mm-hmm. I'll go everywhere. Y'all can see my face everywhere. If I'm walking down the block, listen, I'm here.
My favorite is probably, and you probably wouldn't expect this, but it's Black. Black is Black. The groove like Black. Is just so awesome.
It's cookout vibes. I love that song. I really, really do.
Was that another one that was built off of Getting Set the Beat?
No. That one was built off of, I was just like, I truly, truly want to write a song like this that's like upbeat, but brings like a message. Like I always write songs with messages, but that song personally, like I was listening to the beat and I was like, I really like this beat. I didn't get sent that one, but I was like, I really like this beat. Let's see where this takes me. I've always wanted to make like a classic kind of song. Like I don't know, I feel like I just like classic songs. Like I feel like every song I make is like that, but Black is something like I was just like, how can I show awareness to like the problems that's happening in the world, but also like make people feel good about themselves.
It's so great to be Black. It's so great that's a fact. Great to be Black. It's so great that's a fact. Great to be Black. It's so great that's a fact. Yeah. From my hair to my skin, to my nose to my lips, to the way that I shine, to the way that I dream.
saying? But in a loving kind of way. Like cookout. Like I wanna be played at a cookout.
As soon as it comes on, people just start grooving along, you know.
Dancing, like you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And that's what I say, like, yeah, I don't like making songs that I can't dance to or I can't feel. Like I don't know, I just like making songs that make people smile. Like, dang, like I had a bad day, but I played this song.
That's gonna be a fun one to perform live.
Yeah, I already got the dance that I wanted to do in my head already. I'd be dancing to. I'd be like,
Go viral on TikTok that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I be on TikTok too. I've been slacking, but I be on TikTok.
It's weird out there because some things you'll put all this effort into and it'll get like no views, and then the other ones you just throw up there, whatever, and they'll get 1,000.
Yeah, like TikTok's really funny like that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I've never been on TikTok except July of last year. I know it's been out for a while, but I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just make a hair tutorial, right? So that one got like 36K views. I'm like, that was like my 4th video I made on TikTok, and everybody's just like, oh yeah, we want more hair videos, Kaitlyn. I'm like, oh wow. So every platform that I have wants different things from me. Like Instagram is like music. Girl, give me music. Tell me when the next music video is dropping. Music. TikTok is hair. Show me what you're doing with your hair. I want the tips, the tricks, all that, everything. TikTok is that platform. Twitter is like, I talk about, I like empowering people, but I feel like every platform is different.
Now, do you sneak your music into your hair tutorials?
I did that. I snuck Priority into like a hair journey video, and that hair journey video kind of like blew up, and that was the first time that I've ever seen like people take my video and put it on Instagram and then just everywhere. And I was like, wait, y'all take videos from TikTok and put it on Instagram and promote people for free? Just because you've seen it go like a little viral on TikTok? And I was like, oh my God. I was telling my dad, I was like, Dad, like I'm on this big page, like, and they want hair tutorials now. Cause of TikTok.
That's so cool.
I kind of like switched it up a bit recently, but it was just hair tutorials, and then I would like empower people, like, motivation and stuff like that. And then I was just like, but I kind of don't want to just do hair videos. Like I want to do everything, and y'all just want hair videos. But now I'm getting to the point where I'm just singing. I'm gonna get back to doing hair tutorials because I just took my hair out because it was in braids and stuff like that. And I just want to do a little bit of everything. I feel like I don't want to put myself in a box. I don't like just doing one thing. I like putting myself into different things. Like, you want hair, I'll give you hair, but I also want to dance. I want to make music. Like, hold on, wait a minute. Y'all about to get everything. Wait.
It's definitely conflicting because I've heard both sides of it where it's like, you need to, focus on one thing and give the people what they want in that one area. And the other is just like, no, if you have all these talents or things you want to, show the world, if that's more authentic to you, do that. So it's finding that balance is kind of hard, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm finding right now. I really, for a quick minute, I was trying to figure out, I was like, people always say just focus on this one thing, you know what I'm saying? And then they're like, oh, let that take you to the top. But then like, nobody talks about if that one thing doesn't make you happy, or like, you ever do something and like it doesn't make you as happy because now you have to do it for somebody else. Like, in a sense, not like somebody else, but in a sense as if like you have to do it. Like a job, for example, a job that you hated, not a job that you love because you want to do that, but a job that you hated and somebody's making you do that job, it just makes you want to not do it even more. You know what I mean? So like for me, it's just like, I like to do things, but I want to do things that make me happy and that has balance. Like I want to do music, like that's my baby, that's the love of my life, music, singing, and all that stuff like that. But I have more to offer than just that. And I want to be able to give that to the world. And if you can't take that, then I don't want to learn that 10 years from now. I want to learn that now.
Working in a yeah, a job you don't like can be also very motivating in a strange way. Because like there was nothing. I never wanted to produce music more than when I was folding shirts at Hollister.
Exactly. Let me tell you something. I never wanted to sing as much as I wanted to sing, until I did. I worked a couple different jobs. I worked at JCPenney. Okay, I was folding clothes too. Okay, we have something in common. And I was like, this is not what I want to do. Number two, I was working at like a kind of a casino, and I did not like that. It was just like I was working like 4 a.m. to 12. I was in college full time. That stuff is really motivating to me too. Like you said, it shows you, but it's necessary because it shows you what you don't want to do. So you figure out your purpose and what you have to do to make that happen.
Exactly.
So yeah, I agree with that because it's true. It's very true. But when somebody is taking your talents and using it in a way that you don't want it to be used, that could be kind of crippling. And that's what I don't want. I want to be able to be like, if somebody comes to me with a song that I don't like and I don't want to be on, I want to be like, no, I don't want to do that because it doesn't represent what I want to do. You know what I mean? And as if somebody's saying that you have to do something like that, if that makes sense. I want that kind of balance.
Early in your career, it's hard to say no sometimes. So getting that, learning that discipline.
That out. Yeah. I'm figuring that out because like now it's like, it's very hard to say no. Like, and it's sort of like, do I do this? Do I do that? Like, you just never know, but you just got to do it. And then you learn next time. Right. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's like a lot of people want to collaborate. And then I'm just like, okay, send me the song. Let me hear it. Let me see this. And at the third, and then sometimes what I run into is like, you don't, that person doesn't like represent sometimes the things that I represent. You know what I mean? Which is okay. Maybe not now, early on in my career, I want to do it, or maybe I might want to do it down the line. But like, I feel like for me, that balance is kind of saying, no, not right now. It's not no, never, but it's just no, like, or sometimes you're just not in that headspace to be on that. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got a lot of stuff going on, but I'm trying to find that balance in what should I say and how should I say things like that to that person.
Was there a most difficult part of putting the EP together?
Was learning how to engineer. That was the most difficult part. Was learning how to engineer myself. Like, I've literally cried and sitting here like, oh my God, like, how do people make songs? Like, I'm a singer, writer, but like producing is a lot. You know what I mean? Producing is completely different. People think it's just you just sing. It's not like that. You got to do the ad libs. You got to make sure this ad lib sinks into that. You got to make sure this is lowered, higher, all that stuff. Like, I'm not calling myself an engineer because I'm not jacking that. That's a lot of work. But for that song, I feel like I had to really play around with it, and I was kind of like really frustrated because I was like, I'm gonna just, I don't know. But what I ended up doing is I recorded like the first half of that song, and then maybe like a week later, I took my time away and I finished it. But what I was doing wrong is that for me, I want to finish something ASAP. So when I recorded a song, I'm like, no, I want to finish this today, tomorrow, the next day after that, the next day after that, next day after that. And I just kept going at it. But somebody taught me, they said, when your mind is in a fog, you let it sit. You let that song sit until you are ready and you feel like you can come back to it. But for me, I'm just like, no, I'm gonna keep going at it. And I kept getting knocked down. And I'm like, no, this part does not flow into that part. This part doesn't sound right. Like, the words don't sound right. But it was because I just kept going at it. I was being hard-headed. And then after I let it sit for like a week, I was just like, oh, now I know what to do. And it was easy at that point. But in the beginning, no.
I can definitely relate because I don't like to leave things half finished. Like going to sleep with a half finished song, I'm like, what am I doing?
Exactly. I feel like I was wasting time. The second part that was hard about that EP was finding the right person to take the picture for me, to get my vibe out. So like, for me, I was like, who's going to take this picture the way I wanted to take, because not everybody takes pictures like that. People don't take pictures on film like that. So I was like, how can I find the right person? And the right person was in my area, thankfully. And I was just like, okay, I'm a 90s girl. If you could bring this picture to life for me, like how I wanted to be brought to life, then we got something going here. And then the makeup artist, I had to find the right makeup artist. I did my own hair. I found the outfits for myself for that photo shoot and stuff like that. But for me, it was just like the recording that one song. The rest of the songs was kind of easy for me. But recording that one song, options, and then finding the right people to bring my dream to life, basically.
Well, it came out super awesome. The pictures look great.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So you have your EP out now. I know it's kind of early, but what's next for you? Do you have any songs in the works, new project?
So I have features coming out. I am working on bringing the upbringing of music videos and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's there yet, but I'm working on it, meaning it's in the works. New songs is definitely going to come out soon, but I have features and stuff like that. I'm trying to find opportunities. I have a lot of podcast interviews and stuff like that. I want to do more content. Well, I am doing more content on hair and stuff like that. I don't know if you've seen that, but TikTok kind of told me, like, in my head, I'm like, okay, TikTok like hair. So I'm coming out with new YouTube videos with hair and stuff like that. I am working on products because I like making products for my hair and my skin and stuff like that. So that is also in the works. So all that, I have more stuff coming too, but it's coming soon.
Yeah, it's like level 1 is sponsorships. Level 2 is your own products. So yeah.
Exactly. I want to get sponsorships. I really do, especially for my music videos too. That's what I'm manifesting, all that stuff. I'm gonna start reaching out to everybody and all that. I already started a little bit, but
so when you have a music video and you pick up the Dr. Pepper, I'd be like, right,
I'm there. I made it.
Perfect.
Yes.
Is there a main takeaway you want your listeners to have?
Take time out to discover who you are. Because it matters. Figure out what makes you happy and what makes you whole, because nobody else is going to do it for you. Make sure you love yourself throughout everything. Make sure you're kind to yourself. Make sure you give that the same grace that you give out, you give right back to yourself, because that matters. The way you feel about yourself is the way that you pour out into the world and fill your cup until it runneth over. I feel like this whole journey that I'm on right now has been a whole highlight, because I went to school like a year or two ago. I went to school for accounting for like 3 years, something I did not want to do. So me finally being on this journey and finally doing what I've loved full time, it's a whole highlight for me. And whoever I meet next is a whole highlight. Like every single person is a whole highlight. Big, small, little, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's a highlight.
And plenty more highlights to come. Yeah.
Exactly. So any content that I post, I like it to be very clear, crisp, and professional. Other than that, I feel like if it's not my best, if I'm not doing my best at something, I don't want it out at all. Like, I know how some people are just like, oh, just test it out, be this and that, the third. But me, I'm really a perfectionist, even with my songs. Even remember I told you, like, if I don't get goosebumps from my own song, it's not coming out. It's not coming out. If I don't feel like passionate about that, it's just not coming out. In the same way about that music video, I was just like, okay, I'm going to allow myself to do this music video, but if it doesn't turn out the way I wanted to, it will not come out. And it came out beautiful. It came out clear, 4K. Like, I absolutely loved it. Hi, my name is KaitlynDestinyy, and go check me out on Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that in a bag of chips. I'm on all platforms. I have music videos out. I have an EP out. It's called Self-Discovery. And my name is KaitlynDestinyy with 2 Y's at the end and no spaces. And I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Thank you for listening and tuning in. It was nice talking to you.
Links to Kaitlyn's music and everything else can be found in the show notes. Indie Echo is a product of High Five Music, a digital production studio that brings your bedroom demos to life. If you want your music produced, mixed, or remixed, visit the link on my Instagram at High Five Music, and you can follow the show at Indie Echo Podcast. Thank you for listening.
So you gonna change it what?